A very pleasant evening to everyone present here today. I am Varnika Singhal, a sophomore in Computer Science and Engineering Department at the National Institute of Technology, Rourkela, and I will be your host for today. Today's workshop is presented to you by Hack and ITR, which is the largest student-run hackathon in the Eastern India, in collaboration with OpenCode and GDSC, National Institute of Technology, Rourkela. Today's session, we bring to you this much awaited workshop on the prerequisites of a hackathon. By the end of this extremely informative session, you are going to know the A to Z of the process of a hackathon, from the various mythbusters to queries regarding the smooth functioning of a team in a hackathon. All of your questions will be answered in this workshop by a very special guest, the one and only Mr. Siddharth Dayalwal, the founding organizer of the renowned hackathon Hack This Fall, the developer community specialist at Storyblok, MLH APAC Coach, and a Github Field Expert, among many other accreditations. Siddharth has been an inspiration to many young aspiring developers across the nation. So, without further ado, I now call upon Mr. Siddharth Dayalwal to kick off this highly anticipated workshop. Siddharth, the virtual stage is all yours.
Well, hello everyone. I hope I'm completely audible to each and everyone listening from the chat and appreciate Vania for such a sweet introduction. Thank you so much for adding all those roles for me. Yeah, those are a couple of roles I'm working at or volunteering at the moment. But yeah, that's definitely more than that. But what I'm here for today is to talk, to communicate with you all folks in the chat, and I tried interacting with you all in the live chat already. So let me know if you all can hear me perfectly, if my voice is perfectly audible, anything. I just want to see that I am okay in terms of voice. And if there are any background noises, please avoid that, because of course I'm not sitting in a silent room or a silent place. All right, perfect. And I'm loving the emojis drop in the chat, so please keep them coming. And I love when the chat is interacting, when the audience are interactive. So yeah, thank you so much for validating that. It's perfect. Everything is perfect. Sounds good. All right. So before we actually move on, I would love to know each and every one of you. So let's start with some basics, right? Let me know in the chat which place in this world are you joining in from, because Hack and ITR is a virtual hackathon. So I expect people from anywhere across the country, across the globe, right? So let me know in the chat the city where you're joining in from, maybe your state, the country, anything, right? And to talk about me, I'm joining in from Vadodara, my home, right now. And yes, I'm all live, as you can see. Hey, hey. Cool. I see people from Rourkela, of course, Delhi, Nepal. That's good. Dhanbad, Bhubaneswar, Berhampur, Odisha, Planet Earth. Definitely a right answer. Thank you so much for letting us know that you are from Earth, or else Hack and IT are glowing inter-universe, inter-planet. I don't know what that term would sound like. Katak, Berhampur, Ranchi, Nagpur. Nice. USA. That's really good. So I see people are from away from India as well. So I'll try to keep the conversation totally in English so everyone is comfortable understanding that, right? North Korea, Pakistan, India, Bhubaneswar, fantastic. I see there's a really good crowd coming in from different parts of the world. That is really, really good to know. Okay, Utkarsh is from Mars. I'll accept that because I'm not gonna come at your place to check where you are joining in from. You edited your background? Yes, Preetham, I did that because there's a mess behind me right now, and I want to avoid that making you people see. All right, cool. So that was to know more about where you're joining from. Let me ask you another question. Is this your first hackathon you're participating in, or have you been to a hackathon before? So just let me know the number of hackathons you have been to. If you have been to, let's say, 10 hackathons, just type in 10 in the chat. If Hack NITR is your first hackathon, just type in Hack NITR in the chat. So let's see where people are joining in from. First, zero. No, I don't think so, Sugam. It's zero because if you're participating in Hack NITR, it's already your first hackathon. That's really good to know. Perfect. Yeah, keep that numbers coming. I really like this, the kind of flow the chat is having at this point, right? this is how it should be. It should be like super flowing. All right. First in from college, Hacken ITR 1, Hacken ITR 3, Hacken ITR. That's good. So, for all of those who are writing Hacken ITR, I assume this is your first hackathon. And having a look at the chat, I already got to know that there are more beginners here, right? So, what are we here for? As the title says, Hackathon Basics, Prerequisites of a Hackathon. So, what do we mean by that, right? And hackathon is something which is super close to my heart. If I just need to give a quick background check, I started my hackathon journey way back in February 2019, earlier when, or even earlier before COVID. So I did spend the entire 2019 in hacking actually, participating in different hackathons, building projects. I did won a couple of hackathons. I did learn so many things back then while I was hacking. So after a while, I thought that it's me who has gained enough of experience. Now it's my time to give back to the community, right? And in 2020 I started mentoring, speaking, judging at hackathons. And till mid 20s, I was able to contribute to over 50 hackathons. And I know that's a crazy number, but for me it was like every weekend I was at a different hackathon, and I totally loved participating and contributing to hackathon space. So yeah, keep that chat running. I'm already seeing a lot of comments over there. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for adding all the information and answering my questions there. So after that, I started organizing the hackathon. As mentioned by Verning, a hack this fall is something which I run by myself. I have a great team who is backing that, and we're super excited to come up with more initiatives in the future. And on site, as a full time, I'm also working as a developer community specialist at Storyblok. That is my full time job, of course. And I'm working as an MLH coach. That means that I coach hackathons in different weekends. So if you are attending any MLH hackathons, maybe you'll be fine. You'll be able to find me there. So pretty much about it. But now it's your time to jump in. I want to keep this particular live stream more of very engaging. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop those questions in the chat. What I'm gonna do is I'll quickly run through some basic flow of a hackathon, because it says hackathon basics, right? So there are like a couple of things which I would like to highlight before we actually jump onto the question of yours. So please feel free to drop your questions. The host, the organizers, I would appreciate if you all can bring the questions onto the screen so that we can pick that up from the chat directly. And I do not need to read that out, and everyone can see that questions in the live stream. Cool. So pretty much I see the chat is running. That is really good. Keep that running. And I'll jump on to, first of all, couple of terms which you need to know when it comes to hackathon. And understand this, that whatever I'm going to speak today in this live stream, I'm trying to keep it very basic, because hackathons are mostly for fun. It should not be very competitive, what I feel. And you're here to learn something new. You're here to build amazing projects, network with people, meet like-minded folks, get some cool opportunities, right? So let's make it less of a competitive environment and more of a learning and collaborative environment, right? So let's start with the very basic thing which you might be thinking essentially when you participate in any hackathon, right? So what is that? It's the idea you'll be building on, right? The problem statement and anything around the idea of building a project, right? So how do you get that idea? How do you recognize that problem statement which will be solving during a hackathon? That's super simple. Many people ask me that, hey Siddharth, how do we come up with an innovative project? How do we solve a shared struggle around ourselves, And the answer lies in your question itself. You're trying to find a problem. You're trying to find a problem which you want to solve during a hackathon. You're trying to find an idea which you want to take ahead with your team and maybe bring up a solution for that, and maybe submit as a project to a hackathon. So the answer is in your question. You're trying to find a problem, right? And what is a problem? Problem is anything which you deal in your day-to-day life. So hackathons are a great place to bring those problems which already exist, come together, and brainstorming on those problems. What could be the possible solution? Is that solution something which can be solved using the skills you already have, using the experience you might have gained in the past, or maybe collaborating with some like-minded people in a hackathon and trying to find a solution. Is that possible? So it all starts from that thing. So finding an idea, finding a problem statement should not be much of an issue for you, because specifically, let's say, I see most of the people here are from India, and we have this common trait that we complain a lot about things that is not in hands of ours, right? But is it really not in our hands? Because we say that this is not systematic, this could have been better, why this is not available, why is this service not there, this can be solved in this ways, right? All of these conversations we do on a daily basis with our friends, with our colleagues, with our parents, with our family members, there's where the problem lies. You know, that's the idea which you need to pick on, and just go ahead with that. That is the problem you need to solve. If you find there's a shared struggle within your society, within your region, that's the best way to go ahead with, right? And pick that up and just go ahead and try finding solutions to that. For example, there's lack of awareness around garbage collection maybe in your society. Find an innovative way. This is a problem, right? So a problem can be as simple as that. It do not needs to be very big problem, tech savvy idea which needs a lot of technologies to be involved with, and such sort of things, to be honest. So your idea can be as basic as helping your grandfather or grandparents to find their lost spectacles in a big house. So this is like very basic problem, a day-to-day life problem. You have observed your grandparents not able to find their spectacles. uh, they might have kept it somewhere in the house, and they feel that they've lost it, but they are not able to find it. And how can you do that? You can keep a tracker, you can keep an audio to that spectacles or anything. Now these are all the probable solutions. So you see, there's a very basic problem here. You've tried understanding the problem, you've tried brainstorming on it, you've tried coming up with multiple solutions, and then you realize that okay, this is the best possible solution to this particular problem. And then you go ahead, implement the solution with your skill sets, with the experience you might have. So this is just a basic idea. The bigger problem can be something like revolutionizing the world, solving the climate problems, all such things. But is it too necessary for you to go on such a big level? I would say no. I would say focus on something which is close to your heart, focus on something which is near to your surroundings, which you are dealing every day. That is how people will be able to connect a lot with your idea or your problem statement. So, to start with, how to get a great idea or a good idea essentially is to start brainstorming on what's going on in your surrounding. And you need to be a good observant for that. Ask questions to your friends, reach out to people, ask what are the things they are facing in their day-to-day life. Discuss those things with your friends, with your team members essentially. And that's how you can get started, and it all starts with brainstorming. I would not at all recommend you going on internet and writing that cool project ideas for a hackathon. That is definitely not the best way, because the Google search will only give you the ideas which are already existing. You're not reinventing, you're only reinventing the wheel, right? So you need to think out of the box. Even if you find a problem statement which already has a solution, but do you think that is the sufficient or efficient solution to that? If you think you can make it even more better, well, that is also a good approach, so why not go ahead and do that? But that is the first point, of course, the ideation, the idea thing, the brainstorming on coming up with a problem statement. That is the first basic thing of which we should do at any hackathon. Second point should be about the team formation, right? So I'm just gonna cover up all the basics from mine, and then I'll be picking up the questions. So I hope that works for you. But now I'm gonna jump on to the second most basic thing, which is team formation. Now, how do you find your team members? So there are like couple of ways you can find your team actually. First is that you have your own friends you are teaming up with. That is definitely a good way to start with. And you already have some friends from your college, some people from other universities, friends from the community that you want to collab with. And yeah, that's like the obvious thing, that you know each other from the past, and then you are teaming up, coming together for this hackathon, building projects. That is first thing. Second thing is definitely that you come to a hackathon, you're totally new, you're a complete beginner, you don't know whom to reach out to, you do not have friends, you do not have people who want to collab with you. The best way is use the communication platform of that hackathon. Because Hack and ITR is a virtual hackathon, I'm going to focus on that way, that you have your own Discord server. Reach out to people over there, let them know what you are thinking to build, what skill sets you have, what kind of team members you're looking forward to. So you have done your job. But at the same time, others are also doing. Other people from the communication platform, or let's say Discord, or the attendees might also be putting in the same thing on the Discord. So try reading out that. Try seeing which person have sent the introduction or the requirements, and does that suits your requirements? If yes, maybe go send them a DM or just reach out to them directly. Or yeah, that's the easiest way, and you don't need to be shy of asking people, because you're here to build something, you're here to bring a change. So why to stop yourself just because you are afraid of asking people? It should not be that case. So please go ahead, reach out to people, understand that you are here for a reason. You are using your weekends time to build something innovative, to build something which can probably solve a problem. So make the most out of that time, reach out to people, collaborate in meaningful ways. And for all the people, I would definitely appreciate if you find new team members instead of already forming a team with known people. This way you could learn a lot, because with new people you have opportunities to know more about them, the experience they have, you can learn from them. At the same time, you can teach them something. So that's a win-win, right? So make sure you do that. I would appreciate if you all would collaborate with new people, network more with people who are new or maybe experienced as well. That doesn't matter, right? And when it comes to team, how many team members, that totally depends on the kind of hackathon you're participating in, but I would say four is an average number. Two people, like let's say if there's like a front end person, there's a back end person, someone good with brainstorming, someone good with speaking, someone good with pitching, someone very good with understanding the problem, the idea, happy to explain things to others. Kind of a mixed group would definitely add a lot of value. I would ignore having similar kind of people in a team. Like let's say everyone knows front end, like we are not just going to do the front end thing, or everyone knows only a specific technology. And also there are chances to learn new technologies during a hackathon, and having a diverse team will also allow you to teach each other in a team, right? So for example, my friend is working on front end, he can teach me something around front end, and I can teach him something around back end because I'm aware of that. So having a diverse team also allows you to learn something new while you're building your project. So that was like the second thing. The third thing which I would say is, which is very basic, right? You have got your idea, you have gotten your problem statement. That's the first thing. Second thing, that you have formed a good team for yourself. A third is to actually implement your idea, to actually start building the solution to your problem, and that's a long process, right? So let's say we are participating in a 24 hours hackathon, or 36 hours, or 48 hours. Now this is the duration which a hackathon organizers provides you, right? This is the duration for hacking. But do you actually code all those 24, 36, 48 hours? I would say no, because there are a lot of times which you are not coding. It's not that you will code complete 24 hours. Let's take 24 hours as example for us. So it's not that you'll be coding 24 hours. You'll be taking breaks, you'll go out, freshen up yourself, you'll go out, take some time to have some meals, food, dinner, breakfast. You'll take some time to relax. You'll take some time to interact with other people. You'll attend workshops. You'll attend mini events. And so much more going on during the hackathon. So, do you essentially get all those 24 hours? No. And that's where you need to plan well. So, while you are executing your idea, list down phases of your idea. Like, your end goal, your solution, you need to reach that point, but can you directly jump onto that? No. So divide your problem or your solution journey into different phases. For example, if I'm building a website, I'll probably first create a front end, then I'll maybe add a back end to it, then I'll maybe add login sign up page to that, and then maybe I'll try to make it more accessible, more user friendly, having good UI UX, having more responsiveness. So you see, it all started from getting the basics ready, adding functionality, adding more user experience, and then making it perfect. So you do not need to make it perfect. That is also again a good point to understand. We are not at all expecting for you to build a full-fledged product in a hackathon. It can be an MVP, that's absolutely fine. MVP stands for minimal viable product, if I'm not wrong. But we do not expect you to build something which is full-fledged. Anything basic should work. And also it depends on the kind of judging criteria which a hackathon have. So keep that thing in mind. Have your basics ready, like the problem you're solving, that should be solved. Additionally, if you're adding features, the good UI UX, more functionalities, that is something which can come later. But get the basics ready. Also, one more important thing which I would want you to focus on is have buffer time for yourself. For example, if it's a 24-hour hackathon, I would definitely remove 4 hours from it, keep it 20 hours, 4 hours for all the things which I just mentioned, which are not planned. From 20 hours, I'll keep 15 hours for myself, I'll keep that 5 hours extra. And I'll divide those 15 hours into different phases, right? Let's say in first 5 hours, I need to build this and this thing. In next 3 hours, I want to build so and so forth things. And then there's a 3 hour and then there's 4 hours thing. So I've divided that and I remain with 4 hours and 5 hours. 4 hours I've used for, let's say, my own stuffs, for sleeping, for taking rest, for eating, for attending workshops, for interacting with people. I still have 5 hours remaining. You can use that 5 hours as buffer in case something exceeds your face time. You can use this 5 hours. This is your buffer time. You can use this 5 hours to extend some portion of your phases, right? You can add new features if you have already completed your project. You can use this time. You can use this time to submit your project. That is also something important. So it should not be part of your building time, but actually the submission time should have been separated from your total hacking time. So I guess that is pretty much about it. If you have any problem or questions around building your project, let me know that in the chat. And the last basic thing, I just covered this basics into 4 steps. First is ideation, second is team formation, third is implementation, actual building, and the fourth one, which is really important, is pitching your idea. Uh, in any hackathon you will go to, either you will submit a demo video or you'll pitch your project to mentors and judges, or you'll just submit it directly on the submission platform. And this is really very important. You are building your project since last couple of hours or couple of days, and now this is your time when you are going to showcase what you are actually building, when you are going to represent your solution, your idea, your problem statement, the vision, your mission behind working all these hours, all these days. And this has to be very much precise and something you should definitely keep in mind about the accuracy of it, the idea which you put forward. So this is very crucial, I would say, and you can turn the tables here. Uh, Putting the right thought ahead, forward in the words, in the video, in your pitch is important, because what you are doing, only you know that. And in order for the third person to know what you're actually doing, you need to explain it well. And for that, I would just essentially focus on the problem you're solving, the solution you have come up with, the struggles you have faced while approaching that particular solution, and how you overcome that. That is something really very important. And not to forget, keeping in mind the judging criteria is really very important. Assume that I am a judge at a hackathon, and if the organizers have given me a list of judging criteria, I would definitely try to keep my scores within those criteria. And as a judge, I would expect you to focus on those points as well. For example, one of the judging criteria is innovation. And I know that being a hacker, we all do know the judging criteria prior to the hackathon starts, right? So I would try to make my pitch in a way that could emphasize on the innovation which my hackathon project brings to the table. And that's how the judge will be able to know that, okay, this is the innovation this project is bringing. And then they can score it accordingly. So it's really very important for you to stick to the judging criteria, to your idea, the problem you're solving, and the things which you're coming up with. And also keep in mind the duration. Let's say if it's a demo video which you're submitting, there's always a duration to that demo video. Let's say 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Please keep it within that limit, because there's so many projects which judges needs to judge, and having your video very lengthy would only make them avoid your project and move forward. So you should definitely avoid that. But I just gave a summary, a brief on some basics of hackathon. Started with idea, brainstorming of idea. Second was the team formation. Third was the implementation of your project, and the fourth one was pitching your idea or your problem. So that sums up most of the thing, but those were just the basics. I didn't told you about the opportunities which come by a hackathon. So there are tons of that as well. It all starts with you actually attending and participating in a hackathon. That's like the biggest win for me. Even if you do not win the hackathon, that's absolutely fine. If you're participating in a hackathon, that's the biggest thing which you can do. So please go ahead and do that. Submitting your projects, building cool projects with fellow people, collaborating in meaningful ways, learning new things, attending workshops, getting mentored from right mentors, gaining some opportunities, interacting with sponsors, going through the different products, different tech stacks, learning new technologies, new frameworks, building or solving some problems, adding your projects to the resume of yours, all of these things, earning cool swags, all of these things, I feel that these are your opportunities and these are your small wins at the end of the day. So if you participate in a hackathon, if you think you did not win, I think you are wrong, because you did build a project, you did formed a good team, you did learn something new, and that's a win for you, right? You were not doing this actually before you participated in a hackathon. So winning a hackathon should not be the end goal. Of course, that's one of the things which you should or can do, but is it the only thing you can do? No, right? So focus on all these small wins which you can grab while you're participating in a hackathon, and I feel that once you have that mindset, you can definitely go a long way in your hackathon journey. So couple of opportunities, but more opportunities are waiting for you once you start actually participating in a hackathon, and take the most out of it. It's not that you're just sitting in your room coding on your laptop, submitting a project, and that's it. No, try to make the most out of that time. You are using your weekends time to build at a hackathon, so why not take the most out of it, right? So yeah, that's pretty much from my end about the basics, the prerequisites and stuff like that. And I'm open for any questions. In case you've already shared your questions in the chat, try to copy that question and paste it again, so that organizers do not find it difficult to uh, scroll in the chat and find that question. But yeah, you can copy paste your questions 1 second in the chat, and I'll ask organizers to pick that up. Cool. So, what should be the motivation of a newbie to participate in a hackathon? As I said, participating should be the motivation. Uh, I would, I would not say here that winning prizes should be motivation, or winning cool swag should be a motivation. At very first place, that you are participating. That's the biggest thing, right? Many people do register for a hackathon, but do they participate? I don't know. But if you participate, you know what you're going to go through. You're going to build a project, you're going to collaborate with team members, you're going to go through all those errors, those struggles, the problems. You're trying to brainstorm, you're trying to come up with a solution. All that which you go through, the process is important. And I feel that is the best motivation for you to get started. Because once you participate in a hackathon, the person you will be after the hackathon ends will definitely be a different person that than the one who was before the hackathon started. So you'll see you yourself becoming the better version. So why not? I guess that is the best motivation for you. Cool. Any more questions? Yes, I see a lot of them, but could you share your first hackathon experience as a participant? Yes, why not? So I still remember my first ever hackathon was in February 2019. I was participating in the hackathon called Innovathon that was in Ahmedabad. And I am from Baroda, so I traveled all the way till Ahmedabad. And back then, I wasn't knowing what a hackathon is, to be honest. I wasn't knowing. I thought that this is some place where hacking goes on, and there's like we are breaking into some system and stuff like that, which most of the beginners might think about hackathon when they hear word for the first time. And same was with me as well. But when I reached the venue, I saw people were coming up with their laptops and doing some crazy stuff there, and I was like, "What are they doing?" And curious me back then, I was super, curious to know more about it, and I started reaching out to people there, and I asked them that, "Hey, what are we doing?" So I kind of reached out to people, asking questions. Again, here's another pro tip: do not hesitate in asking question. You do not know what the outcome of that could be. So make sure you ask the question whenever you think you need to, because asking questions won't make you a smaller person. If you think that someone will think of me as a small person or do not know, as if I do not know anything, I would say that that's just a myth of yours. Everyone starting at some point. It's not that everyone are perfect, right? Everyone started their journey at some basic point. If someone today knows something, it's because they started somewhere. If I am here sharing something, it's because I started somewhere. And for you to reach at some level, you need to start as well. Starting should be the first step. So do not hesitate in asking question. I repeat. Cool. But again, jumping onto my journey of my first hackathon, yeah, I asked a lot of questions, and then I realized that hackathon is more than what I was thinking. I understood that we need to solve a problem, and we interacted with the mentors there. We asked questions to them as well, asking what could be the possible problem statement we could solve. And over there in Ahmedabad, there were some local NGOs which were facing this problem of electricity deficiency, like the generation of electricity deficiency, because through the solar panel, because the dust accumulated on the panels were reducing the efficiency of electricity. So that was the problem, and we thought that cleaning them could be a solution, like as basic as that. We came up with, back then I was so much into IoT and hardware programming, but it came up with a solution which automatically washed away the solar panels in a minimal cost, which was very cost effective in a way. And because it was a innovation hackathon, innovathon, that idea came out as a surprise to all the judges, and out of nowhere, without any expectation, we ended up winning that hackathon. And you see, that was like the burst of an excitement which came via my first win. And this was totally unexpected, right? So that was the experience, and I could definitely learn a lot from that particular thing. And after that, after living that experience, I never looked back and started attending more hackathons near my place. So that was it. And I still can recall those memories from my first hackathon. But yeah, maybe next question. Beginners have mindset first, they'll make some time to brush up their skills, after which they'll look for hackathons. Do you think it's the right mindset? I would say no. Just go ahead and participate in a hackathon. As I mentioned, when I attended my very first hackathon, I wasn't knowing any language apart from C, because I was a first year student. So do not hesitate in going ahead and participating in a hackathon just because you do not have skill sets. And it's not a exam which you're going to give that you need to be very perfect with your skills. You're not giving your college exams that you need to learn everything and go. It's you experimenting with yourself, seeing your limits, learning new things. So it's not competitive, I repeat. You just go implement what you can, and no one is taking charge from you. No one is saying that, hey, you should win or something like that. So have an open mind, go ahead, implement what you know, learn new things, become better at what you're doing, and just move on. It's the experience which matters, not the number of hackathons you have won, the number of projects you have built. Doesn't matter. You have learned something, you've added value to your life, you have gained some good experience. That is something which you should definitely keep in mind of. Yep. I hope that answers. Next question, maybe. So favorite hackathon experience with us. There are many. I would say there are many. One of the best experiences which I've had is hosting my very own hackathon, Hack This Fall. But I would say if I start on this, the time will just go on. But yeah, there are all the experiences which I've had with the hackathons are like truly amazing. I personally today itself I get to learn a lot from everyone I interact with different hackathon experiences, with different hackathon cultures out there. So yeah, that would be pretty much. But the outcomes of participating in hackathons, I already mentioned all the opportunities which you gather out of a hackathon. So I guess you can rewind that back and watch out. I'll just keep it quick short because I see we are running out of time. It's already 7. And if I'm correct, it's still 7:15-ish thing. But I'll try to keep it quick. Can a person with little to zero technical knowledge participate in a hackathon? Yes. Yes, as I mentioned, hackathons are diverse hackathon space where diverse group of audience can participate. So Even if you're a non-tech person, you can participate in a hackathon. I have seen people from cooking background, marketing background, economics background, accounts background participating in a hackathon, arts background. So it doesn't matter if you are a tech background person or not, you can participate in a hackathon. Perfect. How much of a role does presentation play in a hackathon? Definitely a bigger role, as I mentioned, because this is your time to express what you have been building. So it does play a good, important role in a hackathon. What are the parameters that decide the winning project? Is the judging criteria, to be honest, which the organizers decide and they convey the same to the judges. How does hackathon help in career building? It's pretty obvious because, to be honest, whatever I have done, hackathons have been a great part of my journey, uh, because I learned a lot from the hackathon, right? And how does hackathon help in career building? It's like you learn new technologies, you implement them, you build projects that helps you implement what you have learned in real time, right? You add those projects into your resume, you interact with people, you network with them. They can be sponsors coming up, they might have an opening, you reach out to them, share your experience, maybe find an internship for you, or maybe a full-time opportunity. I got my first job via a hackathon. I was hosting Hack This Fall. Storyblok was one of our sponsors, and uh, they 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 saw me working for the hackathon, the way I was in interacting with the community, and they directly reached out to me, and that's how I got hired. I completed all my interviews within the company, and that's how I got to connect with my company actually. And all my internship which I did, i I like the people I interacted with during my work in all my internships. I was knowing them in some or the other way because of hackathon communities. So networking will definitely help you building projects, adding them to your resume, applying at different companies, interacting with sponsors at the companies. All of these things will definitely add a lot of value, and it all starts from you actually, as an individual. That how much efforts you are taking to put a step forward, take initiatives. All of these small little things will also be a huge thing for you to help in your career building. I hope that makes sense. How can we get some new ideas on projects other than the ordinary ones? As I said, see, it's all about you being observant enough. It's all about you being able to find those problems near you. About the new ideas, I would say that you do not need to come up with something very extraordinary. Something which is already existing, a problem in the society which is shared by a large group of people, is enough. It's just that you need to come up with best possible solution. It's not about the problem, it's about the solution which you come up with. So of course there's some brownie points for the problem, but how well do you come up with a solution is also an important aspect. How to find hackathons participating? There are a couple of platforms like DevFolio, DevPost, MLH, Major League Hacking, Angel Hack, and so many more platforms. So you can, in today's time, you can just Google on hackathons thing, and you'll find a couple of platforms where you can find it. But yeah, DevFolio, DevPost, MLH is something which I would definitely recommend. How did you and the people around you start and when? I started very basic, just like you all are doing right now, attending such events, attending small meetups, attending hackathons, hosting my own events, learning new things, taking up initiatives, implementing what I wanted to, interacting with people, networking with people, communicating with them, sharing in public, building in public, asking questions, all of these basic things which anyone and everyone can do. It all starts from there. And you slowly and slowly step up your work, step up your thing, and start taking more initiatives, start adding more value. And yeah, it's just simple as that. There's no big theory behind you coming to a certain stage. It's all you making efforts, trying to do something which you really want to do. And I guess that is enough. There's no roadmap about it, about to reach at some point. So I would just like to keep it simple. How to grow networking through hackathon? By communicating, simple, by interacting with people, keeping in touch with them, knowing more about what they are doing, sharing what you are doing, and the basic communication. How do you make friends on first day of your school or first day of your college? By chatting with them, by talking with them, right? And that's simple. You're already doing that on a lower level. You just need to understand that just coming or attending a different event or different activity doesn't make it different. you know just compare it with you attending the first day of your college. You're knowing no one over there, but now, after a few months, you have friends, you know people. How? Because you started communicating with them, you started talking to them, and that's how you network as well in a hackathon. You start interacting with hackers, with mentors, with organizers. You start sharing what you know, you start learning more about them. You connect with them on social media, let's say Twitter, LinkedIn, and you stay in touch. So it's as simple as that. I repeat, I personally try keeping things super simple. If you try thinking in a way that is too much extreme, that is somewhere you're going wrong. That is the time when you're going wrong. So try to keep things simple. Do not overestimate things. Do not overcomplicate things, and just get it going with the flow. So I hope that answers your question, and all the other questions which are around on the same lines. How do you balance the need for innovation with the need of reliability and stability while building your product or project? Brainstorming is the essential idea. Talk with your team members, get some feedbacks and surveys done from mentors, from, let's say, judges if allowed, from other hackers. That's absolutely fine in discussing your project with other hackers. So do not hesitate in doing that. Taking opinions, suggestions, constructive feedbacks is highly appreciable, and this is how you will realize what better you could do. And yeah, just trying to brainstorm on it. Create different targets for your project, what you need to actually solve. Should you make your project more innovative? Should you make it more reliable, more stable? If three of them, what are the things you should keep in mind? Can you merge all of these solutions? If yes, how? Ask questions to yourself. This is important. Try noting down each and every things. Try noting down what is required, how you can do it, where you can find the solution. All of these things, it's part of brainstorming. And for that, you need to discuss, communicate, interrogate, everything. It's important. Fine. I say it's already 7 p.m. We will try to keep it 10 more minutes till 7:10. Before that, I can answer more questions. How to stay motivated to hackathons after a few no win experiences? As I mentioned, do not have an end goal of winning a hackathon. If you'll have an end goal of winning a hackathon, you'll definitely be disappointed, right? So don't have that expectation. Just have this mindset of going at a hackathon, participating at first place, learning new things, building projects, giving your best, improvising yourself, networking with people, and that's it. If I would be at your place, I would definitely do that. I never went to a hackathon with the mindset of winning that hackathon, because essentially, if I'm doing all of these things which I just mentioned, personally for myself, I thought that I won that hackathon because I get to do all of those things. And winning those cash prizes, getting those awards is something that I should not focus on. And once you have started doing that, maybe you can win a hackathon as well, and you will have more satisfaction once you start going to a hackathon with that mindset. So it's as simple as that. In which you started coding, I would say in high school. Can we participate individually? Yes, if the hackathon allows, you can. But I would appreciate if you go collaborate with people and work in a team. Um, that would be even more better for you. What's next? Depends on the hackathon. If they decide on, let's say, particular team members, I guess you can go with that. What did you submit in first hackathon? As I mentioned, we were solving a problem where solar panels were not able to generate efficient electricity because of the dust accumulated on them. So we just prepared a simple solution of washing away all the dust. We collected the dust, the muddy water, we filtered that, you reuse the water, use the remaining mud to plant a tree, and that kept on happening. And we automated that thing using a mobile app. which we created using a no code platform, which was like an MIT app inventor. So pretty much very basic. So we created a self cleansing solar panel essentially, which was automated later. Cool. Any more questions? Can you suggest some hackathon that people attend after college? Why to wait till you end your college? I would say just start attending when you are in college. And there are tons of hackathons happening. You can, as I mentioned, you can find on Major League Hacking platform, on DevPost, on DevFolio. You can find a couple of hackathons there. And I would say no hackathon is a hackathon which you cannot participate. You can participate in any hackathon unless they have some criteria. Cool. I would appreciate if we can have questions turning up quickly so that we can save that time. How do you stay focused when working long-term project, tackling different challenges? I would just say keep it going. It's important for you to understand the reason why you started, what you started with, what's your end goal with the projects, and of course there are going to be challenges. No path is an easy path, right? So be prepared to face those challenges. If you're not able to face those challenges, it's not end of the world. You still have time, you still need to figure it out. There might be some solutions, just that you're not getting it right now. So be patient in this situation. Just understand that there is a way. Talk to more people, ask questions. Once again, it's important. Try to do more research around that project topic, on internet, maybe reaching out to folks who might have done something similar in the domain. So getting right mentors is also important. So yeah, just be patient, just be determined, be consistent, and keep it going. If the hackathon allows, yes, you can. But if hackathon says that you need to come up with a new solution, new problem statement, please go ahead with what the hackathon says. I always focus on coming up with a new solution, new problem, and that is more appreciable. Because if you are anyways going up with same similar ideas, similar projects, I would say it's a waste of time. You're coming to different hackathons and submitting same project. You are not doing something new. You are just submitting this one and the same thing. So try avoiding that. And even if you are bringing the same problem, come up with a new solution or a better solution. So that could be one way, that could be one approach. But please confirm that with the organizers of that hackathon that you're participating in. If they allow, good for you. But I would definitely say come up with something new. Rush of building. That's fine. I guess if you're starting new, if you have missed the hackathon opportunity while you were in your college, that's absolutely fine. There's no time which is late for you to start. It's like better late than never. So if you have started after your college, that's absolutely fine. The important thing is that you started. How to make the most of your team in terms of working together, brainstorming, activity, creating efficiency, communication. Interact with your team members, ask questions to them as well, that what have they been up to, what is something they are stuck at, if there's anything you can help them with or they can help you with. Communication is the key when you're working in a team, and keeping things clear, keeping things transparent, understanding everyone's point of view, taking in inputs, feedbacks. All of this is really very important. So yeah. Okay, I see we have 4 more minutes. We can pick some more questions. Do we have more questions from the chat? If not, maybe I see one from Abbas. What are some ways that you have successfully bridged the gap between different disciplines or fields to solve complex problem? I kind of not getting the question, but if I'm understanding that correctly, it might have just been the common problems which I might have encountered while I was hacking. I guess that is the answer. But again, solve complex problems. I never focused on complex problems. I just always focused on basic problems which I might have encountered or which my team members have encountered. So as I said, I believe in keeping things simple. So yeah. Is hackathon the before and experience before going into entrepreneurship? uh, I do not think so. if I'm getting the question correctly. But yeah, is hackathon the beforehand experience? If you can frame your question correctly, that would be great. Cool. How do you value design development in hackathon? Definitely, as I mentioned, everyone can participate in a hackathon, and design development is definitely something important. I've seen designers participating in hackathon. There are UI UX hackathons happening, designathon happening. So why not? This is really very crucial. So earlier mentioned, anyone from any branch, any background can participate in hackathon in true sense. How important is learning public sharing with the hackathon hack you made on social media? It is important, I guess. If not important, I guess something which you should do. I personally feel that this way you are sharing what you have been building on with the larger group of audience. Uh, Essentially, this way you will be able to share what you have been building on, and people in your network will see that, hey, this person is some building something super cool. He's very active. She's very active, participating in events like hackathons and building some awesome cool stuff, solving the problems. And this way you do not need to prove yourself again and again. Honestly, believe me that whatever I've did till date, I've shared everything in public, even my small wins, my failures, and everything. I'm keeping things transparent with the community, with people who are watching me, with companies, with organizations, with anyone out there. And this allows me to be who I am, to show people what I actually am and what I actually can do. So yeah, that's definitely a way you should also keep that thing in mind. And sharing in public will definitely help you. What are different stages of hackathon? I guess I already mentioned that. You can rewind this live stream maybe in future, but to summarize, it's like ideation, team formation, building your project, and the fourth one was pitching. Cool. I guess that would be pretty much with the questions. We are already on time. Thank you so much for asking all those questions. In case you want to connect with me, you can find me on Twitter on the mentioned handle. I will also ask the organizers to share my Twitter in the chat, maybe. And it's like this handle only. You can connect with me over there. And usually people do not share their Instagram, but I do because my Instagram is more of a public platform for people to watch out. Over there, I keep things informal, try to keep the journey which I have been through, some glimpses from the events I go, and I keep it more fun over there. But Twitter is always about sharing more things which I do from my company, my opportunities which I bring up, or any other cool things which I see online. So, um, feel free to find me over there. You can give me a follow, and let's be in touch. And yeah, happy to help you. In case you have any questions, you can always add Siddharth underscore hacks me on Twitter. You can tag me, and I will be more than happy to help you out. And pretty much about it. Thank you so much, Hack and ITR team. I've been associated with the hackathon since quite a while. I know the organizers from the past events, so always happy to be here speaking and sharing my experiences. And all the audience in the chat, thank you so much. Appreciate you all listening to me so far, asking all those questions. This is really important. So best wishes to you for the hackathons you participate in future, and looking forward to the amazing things which you build. Thank you so much once again.
Okay, that was a beautiful interactive session. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for that enlightening session. It was an honor to have you at this workshop. One information that I would like to add is, as you might all be aware, Hack and ITR has the awesome initiative of the leaderboard to encourage everyone, regardless of their technical knowledge. The idea is simple: the more you learn, the more points you earn. Here's the code for today's session: Ha Solo. Use the code in the form that will be shared in the comments down below and rise up in the leaderboard. With that, we come up to the end of this workshop. I would also like to thank the organizing team of Hack and ITR along with the teams of Open Code and GDAC for bringing to us this wonderful workshop today. Finally, I would like to thank all of you present here today for being such an inquisitive audience. We have many such workshops aligned for you in the future. So register at Hack and ITR 4.0. Follow us on all our social media handles: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram to stay tuned for more such updates. Keep hacking.
Bye everyone. Happy hacking.
Happy hacking.